teams, I think. Yep.
Heavyweight match in progress on mat 5 now. Paynesville is leading Canby 29-16. Number 8, 189, Jake Elgin, birthday due at Ferndale, a fall of 227 over John Dibby of St. James. The heavyweight match in progress now at mat 8. St. James leading, birthday due at Ferndale, 27-22. Up now on mat 2, mat 795 at 171. Alex Seary, Bird Mills, Beaver Creek, Ellsworth. Josh Bechtold of Rockford.
Medford can win it yet. They pinned the guy before him. I mean, go to Hewitt.
Next up now 3, heavyweight match 804. Jacob Bartle of St. Michael, Albertville, and Jake Hillman, Foley. Result of match 802 at 189, mat 7. Ben Anderson, Otter Tail Central, 8-4. Anderson, 8-4. Next up on mat 7. Now on mat 7, heavyweight match 806. Jordan Peterson, Laverne Hills, Beaver Creek, Heavyweight match number 803, scheduled for mat 2. Heavyweight match 803. Nate Priestley of Stewartville, Travis Aarons of Jackson County Central, Southwest Star Concept. introducing the wrestlers competing for 5th place. AAA, 5th place wrestlers. That's on map 3. And now time for the traditional wrestling tournament handshake.
take credit for it. Too, he threw that headlock the first one and he didn't finish it because they slid off. Yeah. And I thought that's the one he needed. If he goes home, does this, get it right away again. Ooh. Real nice thing was once that guy got off his back in the headlock, Matt had his arm and he just ran it right over again before the guy even figured out where he was at.
Gold medals will now be presented to the championship Paynesville Bulldogs. Nate Glenn, Jeremy Sagi, David Kurzman, Jeremy Fox, Chris Mullen, Josh Schweifels, Joe Hiltner, Chris Sagi, Scott Brown, Sean Fleischacker, Josh Ford, Matt Buckler, Brad Schultz, Max Maher, Josh Kurzman, and student manager Brian Cotton. Now the captain or captains of the Paynesville Bulldogs step forward to receive your state championship trophy. Congratulations to head coach Bruce Hadley and the entire Paynesville Bulldogs. Please clear the mats now so we can have the individual award ceremony.
Way to go, Paynesville!
And now let's meet all of the individual wrestlers in 3A.
Wow, state A champs. At the chamber board, it's an honor to have all the residents going in the state. And you guys please stand and welcome our champions. Okay.
part of the team. And they really, really do, and I appreciate those guys letting us do that. Sometimes they don't always want to, they do. That's why I want to really thank our youth fans. For the cheerleaders, they can't do it without you guys. We're out there doing the crowd cheers, and all year we've been waiting. The younger ones are all involved, and they're into it. They're like, Cindy, we got to get the parents doing the cheers. Well, it was so fun after we had won to look up into the crowd and see them doing all the parents, everybody's doing it. It was like, yes, it was awesome. Finally, we did it. But I also, cheerleading is also not only getting popular, you guys doing it, but also this is the upcoming sport around here. For the past fest, for the ones that got to be there, the wrestlers also begged to do that cheer. We let them. And also Monday, tomorrow and Tuesday, we'll have our tryout. Seeing how it's getting so popular, we also have a parent, Sandy Spaniello. I know. Yes! Okay, now, and because you guys were such awesome sports down there, we got the Sportsmanship Award. Okay, so if I can have, man, I'm so nervous, I'm just shaking. Okay, I'll announce the girls that come up that was participant. Sarah's not here apparently. She ended up, you've seen her cheer all year long. She ended up going into surgery Sunday night and wasn't able to come down with us, but it was awesome when she walked down the aisle to be there for the state championship final. So I was glad that you were there. I'm surprised she's not here today, but so I want to recognize you too. And I also would like to have Kristen to our one. Much more. I got it, Krista, right? I always know her. Okay, Stephanie Thompson. Okay, Kelly Schultz. And Rachel, I don't have one because your sport is truly gymnastics. But I truly appreciate her when she wasn't doing gymnastics. She was there for us being our mascot. We were pretty thankful to have her with us down there at state. So Rachel, thank you.
Okay, next up is the guy who looks forward to this every year in his long speech. Assistant Coach Steve Brooks. The first thing I want to do, I got to settle something here. Getting sick and tired of having people come up and say anybody can coach this team. We got a lot of feature coaches out there saying anybody can coach this team. But it ain't anybody that can do the diamond cutter as good as I can. When I do the diamond cutter, I save my voice later on the matches, and the AAA guys are always already cut, no. So I save my voice so I can holler later on. So I just want to straighten that out. So it takes some practice to do that. This was a great year. We started from day one, planning to get to the state as a goal, and when we got there, to take what we could get when we get down there. And these guys worked real hard during the season. We've got the guys at weights that we didn't think we'd get to when the season started, and they all got there. It made it a lot easier getting there after the season started, knowing that they got guys with the weights that's what we needed them. And they did a lot of dedication and hard work to cut some weight on about 5 guys to get what we needed to make the team most powerful that we could have out there. And when you take a look at like Adam Christian went down there, you guys look at the state book, we saw the 3 guys he wrestled down there. Next year he's at 103. Hopefully you're going to be the guy beating up on Bell. That's not going out there and wrestling guys that had a total of 8 losses. Well, you can tell a guy's been around birds too long. Next person I'd like to introduce is head coach Bert Trogley, and I guess he's the glue that holds it all together. So, Bert.
I'm just going to mention a few thank yous here. First of all, he just referred to me as the glue that holds it together. I've been involved in the wrestling program here for a long time. It's really been fun. And I came in, I think there was, as an assistant coach, and they'd started it 3 years earlier, and it had been started by basically wrestling was starting all over the state. People didn't know much about wrestling, and some schools were fortunate enough to get somebody that did know something about wrestling. Well, I won't say I'm a smart person, but I'm smart enough to figure this out. If we were going to be successful, I better surround myself with people who can help make me look successful. That's why I just recruited hard, tried to get good athletes, good wrestlers, we got them, tried to get good assistant coaches. After maybe 10 years of coaching here at Paynesville, Bob Bowden came to Paynesville. He became an assistant coach with me and had wrestled in high school and brought up, I think, the first person who had wrestling experience into our coaching staff. After Bob moved on to other things with weekend obligations, one of our former state champs, Steve Fuchs, has been a coach with us, and the success we've had is because we've got good people involved in our program. And wrestlers, you folks, and all the ones that got before you, and the coaching staff, I really thank you a lot for everything. We would never have accomplished these things without that. Also, cheerleaders and Cindy. I've been involved in athletics as a coach, as an athlete, and I can never remember anybody ever put more work into the cheerleading aspect of the sport than you do. Thanks a lot, all of you. Parents, family, sometimes we thank the parents, we have a parent night and stuff, but I did this last year, and I want all family to stand up. I don't mean just mom and dad. Sometimes there's grandma and grandpa, sometimes there's a brother or sister. There's people there that put up with a whole lot of things and help support these people. So family, let's stand up and give them a round of applause. Our school administration, new athletic department in the administration, and Kyle Nolding and Matt Bresentine and the rest of the school administration, school board. Thanks for your support. Thanks for putting on. Did I say something wrong here? Oh. Sorry there, man. Nick Carlson. Steve Bresentine was here last year, for those of you that didn't know, along with me. Sorry, man. Anyway, we really appreciate the help and support that we get from them being our direct liaison as far as administering our department, and they do a very good job. We're really fortunate to have them, and they have the school board administration that does see value in high school athletics. Thanks to the Jacobson family. They're employed by the Paynesville Press, and they were down there at the state tournament doing an awful lot of stuff over and above what they have to do as part of their employment and connection with the Paynesville Press. I don't know who runs that Paynesville Press and makes them work that hard, but I sure do appreciate the Jacobson family for doing all the stuff they do down there. And I know all our fans, so let's have a really big round of applause. And I don't know if these people are here or not, but I think we really owe them a thank you. Our medical staff here at Paynesville. Things have really changed in wrestling in the last few years. So many people ask, are the skin problems so much worse? I don't think they're that much worse. I think there's an awareness, and in all the things we do in society, things change, and there's awareness, and there's a pendulum swing, and they really are particular on your skin situations. We've had Dr. Solomon donated his time to do all our weight slips this year. Dr. Nelson, who on short notice, Tuesday night at practice, I noticed a couple guys with a few things that I didn't feel very good about. And we couldn't get them over and get them appointments quick enough, and I drove over to the clinic and talked to Dr. Nelson. He said, I'll come up there when you're done. And at 5:30 he was here, volunteered his time, went through everybody, made slips on him. And when we got to the state the next day, 3 guys didn't go right through the skin check. 3 you guys have problems, okay, you got to go to the doctor. You have slips on them and all that? Yes, I did. And I think it was good that we took that precaution. Those three guys, I think, were Brad Schultz, Chris Welly, and Chris Sagi. So we would have been in a tough situation had we not been able to have them. And I don't think they would have been out of there, but just the awareness, and we should thank the medical people for what they've donated. Dr. Beaver has seen an awful lot of our people, and I know it's expensive sometimes for you as parents to keep sending them over, but Dr. Nelson did volunteer on that last day before we went to state to help clear some of our people. And thank you to all you fans. Without you, it would be kind of empty. We'd be participating in an empty gymnasium, empty auditorium, and it was really exciting yesterday to win it and to see all of you behind us. And I wanted to run over there and jump over the railings and go up in there, and I didn't want to ruin any chance of the sportsmanship award. I saw one of the state high school legal officials, and I said, hey, can we go to the And I realized they were waiting with the next award ceremonies, and I didn't want to disrupt that. That's where we were kind of hurting me out. I said, take the celebration out in the lobby, but it was sure nice to celebrate it with you, and we're glad you're a part of our whole thing. I know you don't actually go out there and win matches. I know you don't get some of the attention, but you're a part of it, all of you, and people recognize that. We have a great wrestling following, so thank you, fans. Now, come, give yourself a hand. Fans, everybody. Before I start mentioning some comments on the specific individuals, for those of you older fans, maybe over junior high now, who remember 1992, does anybody remember about 1992? We were rated number 1 in the state all season in 1990, 91, and 92. We won the state in 90, 91, and we were expected to win 92. We got to the finals. We had 9 individuals in the state tournament. I think we had 5 state placers. Our opponent was Frazee. It was just about the opposite situation yesterday. Well, I could have used that all year long with this Frazee thing, but I've told these kids, I've told others, don't live your life with revenge, because it just eats you up. If you have a disappointment, put it behind you and move on. I don't care if that's in your personal life, your financial life, your business life, medically or whatever. You just don't live your life with revenge and getting even and feeling you had a bad break or something like that, because you might never get the opportunity to make that one up. But for those of you with the memory, it is a little bit sweet to be able to go deer hunting and drive through Frazee, and it's going to be safer for my kids. I don't have to drive with my eyes shut as I come by that big sign that says 1992 state champions. And my kids give me a bad enough time on that. So I was driving on detours that weren't there, going 50 miles out of our way and driving my eyes shut and everything. Now I'll go through there and I can care less about that 1992 side right now. That's just a joke. I really don't drive with my eyes shut. They're open all the time. There's a lot of other things I could mention. I'm going to kind of keep it short. You all realize that we did have to make numbers 4, 3, 2, 1 rated teams in the state in our last 4 matches, and we beat every one of them. It's like a hurdle race. We had 6 hurdles and going to the state title. We didn't want to finish short of the finish line, and every one of those hurdles got a little higher, and we didn't want to trip up on any one of them, and it was really fortunate to get through. Now, during those last 4 matches, for those of you that like a little bit of facts or statistics, and some of it might go like this for you, we kept telling our kids that we need to win 7. If you lose 6, you should win. If there's no pins, you'd win. What's the math on that again, guys? 21-18, right? Have we ever won a match with 21 points? I don't know if we've ever won a match with lower points than we had yesterday. I don't know. I haven't looked that up, but for a long time, I don't think we ever won a match. How many points did we have yesterday? 24. We don't win many matches with 24 because we usually give up more than that, or we score more. We only had 6 wins yesterday. Frazee won 7. I think most of you realize that now. We didn't give up a bonus point at all. And in our last matches, the last 4, we won 7 against Pierce, just 1 more than the minimum. We won 8-5 against Canby. 7-6 with St. James and 6-7 with Frazee. We should have had a score there, an average score, 3 points better than our opponent each time, you know, averaging out. But we were actually 11 points better because on the bonus part of it, we gave up only an average of 3 bonus points a match. We gave up 6 to Pierce and 6 to St. James, but only 1 to Canby and only 1 to Frazee. And while at the same time, we went out and got an average of 11 points a night on those. And that's because our kids were not only the star wrestlers getting pins, but the ones that weren't the biggest stars were not giving up any extra points. And that's a team effort, and it was really a big factor. Our statistics, we win about 2 to every 1 we lose. We get about 4 pins to every 1 we give up. So that helps equalize that. When we can run into some good opponents, somebody else can pick up a win or something for a pin. I'll tell you a little bit about what we didn't prepare yesterday, if you want to hear something about that. We were pretty nervous, pretty excited. Do one thing right now. Nobody knows it. Not my wife, not anybody. They were making announcements about don't throw things on the mat. And I can't imagine who would, you know, what wrestling fans would throw things on the mat. You heard the announcer say that a couple of times or not? How many heard him say that? Well, we were sitting there in the Canby match, and I'm not much for superstitions. But I did get dressed yesterday morning, went over and coached in the wrestle match, had all my stuff packed to go on the bus. When I came back to put it on, I told my wife, I said, just don't feel right without something green on. So I opened the suitcases, dug it out, and put something green on besides my underwear and my socks. When it gets to the big matches, you know, you get a little bit of superstition, and I just like to be in green, I guess. I won't say I'm always in. But anyway, it started that Canby match, just what he said about throwing things on the mat. Right where we sit by these little chairs, almost tucked under the mat, about halfway under the mat, was a little penny. I picked up that penny and I put it in my pocket. And had other change and everything. I just made sure I never put any change in it. I don't know why I did it. I thought maybe that brings good luck. Well, I don't think it had anything to do with winning, but it was kind of fun. Anyway, getting back to that, yesterday for the big match, we told the kids we're going to meet with them at a certain time, and when we did, we went over some of these things because we'd gone over things with coaching staffs and stuff the night before and during that morning and tried to find out where, who, and what, and where were our chances. They had 5 state placers. We had 3. We were definitely underdogs, or maybe wonderdogs, but whatever. We were not the favorites. They had 2 state champions. We had 1. They had a 4-time state champion who just pins or TS everybody he wrestles against. And he's never lost to a Minnesota wrestler. I think you know some of these things and try to keep it moving. And then if we would have known we were going to lose the coin flip, which probably meant another 6 to 7 points, maybe 4, maybe more. And we had a projection beforehand that we figured they were favored in 7, clearly. And we were favored in 4, maybe, depending on coin flip, or tossing up 3. Well, when the coin flip went that way, that's what turned out. We were only favored in 4 matches. We probably had toss-ups in the other 2. And we had to be considered the underdogs. There wasn't any question about it. And we didn't win any of those 7 that we were underdogs in. But we got those 2 we figured were toss-ups, and we got enough with enough big points. I tried to instill in them all year long, but really reinforcing yesterday that individually we're not better than Frazee, but as a team we might be. We can't be, at least in that one time out there. If all the parts come together right, and I can remember as we were talking and turning one thing over to Steve, as we got talking about technique and individual things and the actual wrestling. And yet, it isn't only I do one part, he does another part. And another thing that we tried to tell him, and I remember Steve saying it, don't panic if we're behind by 12 after the first 2. Don't panic if we're behind by 12. Maybe we can get 12 at the top 2, and that would just be a wash and offset it. Now, we don't want to start that way, but we don't want our kids to go into panic. And what he said about Adam Christian, going out and setting a tone and maybe throwing them off a little bit by a little respect for the fact that we have come up with some big upsets with our headlock and our other things. And when those 2 guys came off after 103 wrestled 5th in the state, and 112 wrestled the state champion, and they only had 6 points. We felt very good about what those guys had done. One of the sports writers from one of the papers came up and talked to me after and said something about your top guys really finished it off, but your lower weights set the table. And that wasn't anything I came up with, but that was something the sports writer said. I said, boy, they sure did. So they set us up in a good way, but both of them lost. You know, if you want to look at the win and lose, we had 7 guys out here lost last night, but we had 17 won. So what they did individually, they all contributed. They contributed in a big way, and those are the things we tried to instill in them. And they knew they had to do that yesterday, and we did. We were able to get that. All the parts had to come together. As we were talking there in the meeting, and it was pretty serious, I was trying to make eye contact with everybody and let them know their role and let them know where they're at. And if you were a favorite, then can't slip up. And if things go as predicted, we will lose. So we've got to somewhere come up with something. We don't know who it's going to be. And I remember trying to make eye contact with everybody. Maybe it's a glare or whatever, I don't know, but it's an eye contact that we know there's a bond there together. And one particular guy happened to be looking down and couldn't make eye contact with him. And it wasn't that he wasn't paying attention. I mean, he was as serious as meditative as him, but I just needed the eye contact. And right in front of me as I was talking, I tapped him on the shoulder. That happened to be Josh Ford. Anyway, those are things kind of we do to try and get ready. And we were, I think the team was getting pretty tensed up. We talked about everybody's role. I'm going to tell you something about a role that we went over. And this is just an example. We went through these kind of things with about everybody. At 152, we didn't ask them beforehand, and I would guess that they maybe would have expected that. But we don't say, what would you like? Sometimes we do. We get thrown in, and sometimes we just have to make a decision. Those are hard decisions. And Steve and I give some thought together, and if we don't totally agree, we just have to, all right, this is the way it's got to go. And Steve understands my position. That's the way we do it. And yet, I turn over the technique, and if there's time where Steve says, do you think we should let him go? I say, man, maybe we should keep him down one of this. Well, I turn that over to his decision, and I trust him because I think he has a better feel for that. And that's the way it's done. But we still communicate. Well, in this situation here, Steve and I were both in agreement, and we told, if we win the flip, we're going to make them go out at 152 with Matt Neal, and we would go with Josh Kurzman, because our theory was this: he will pin anybody who we put out there. That's what we'd have to expect. All right, we might go with Josh, and then we'll take we'll take Chris Sagi, who has a better chance of beating the other guy, because if we lose 2, or if we win 1 and lose 1, there's no way mathematically you can score better by losing 2. So we're going to give up, put everything into trying to win 1. And if Chris would be fortunate enough to beat the other guy at 60, we felt he had a little better chance than Scott Brown. Now, maybe parents, maybe wrestlers, you don't like to hear that. But those are things you as fans talk about. You don't want to always get it right out in the open. Well, we need to. We need to on the team. They need to understand that. So Scott's feeling this way. He can easily feel, well, we don't think I'm any good. And then as soon as here's a senior, he's been out there, and he might not even wrestle in the state championship match. But I said, that coin flip was going to decide it. That's what we have to do, because we think that's best for our chances of winning as a team. But if we lose that coin flip, we've got to go with Chris Sagi right at 152. Because otherwise, we're going to have Josh Kurzman, we wouldn't think as good as Scott Brown and Chris Sagi. So we've got to go with Chris Sagi right at 152. We know he'll be going against state champion. Now Scott Brown will have to go against the other guy, I think his name was Drench, with a chance of winning there. We would like our chances a little better with Sagi against Drench. If we lose the coin flip, we can. So Scott's got to understand it. If we lose it, now Sagi's going to be a big, big, big underdog. And you have got to be mentally ready to pull an upset, to win the match. So he's going with 2 thoughts. He's got to, and I said, you're going to have to totally shift gears right now. For the next 3 hours, you're going to have to be ready for either one. But when that coin flip happens, now you know totally. Coin flip came up for Frazee, and he knew he was wrestling. And he went out and he didn't win, but he came very close to it. But those are the types of things we went over, and there was was a lot of tension in there. We talked about situations of backups and if they need some shifts. And I really sensed our kids were very ready, but you never know that. But I sensed they were very uptight. And I guess we finished off our little thing there with what Steve and I were talking about, some technique and other things, and then just said, get away from us and get out and have some fun. You got about 2.5 to 3 hours and just have fun. Make the most of the biggest athletic opportunity of your life. And if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. You're still the envy of most every team in the state, and not one, but you still were out there, and I just wanted them to have some fun and have a good time. And when it comes time to wrestle, be ready. And they were. And they started right off at 103. They were very ready. We got some certificates. Come on up. I'll make a little comment about you. And we will give you a certificate that you received from State High School. Adam Christian. Big one yesterday. We've already there was no bonus points yesterday against Frazee, and he hit some big tough ones. Steve has already mentioned a few things about it. Next, Nate Glenns. Big one yesterday was against Frazee as well as others. He just has been outstanding. Canby match was terrific, and making the state individually did a great job. Jeremy Sagi, third in the state. I don't think many people are going to forget his comeback against St. James in the third period. We had to have every one of those. He was behind the third period, turned him with a cradle, got a big win. And of course then the big bonus point he picked up against Frazee yesterday, when their two state placers couldn't get any, and ours did. He set a little toll, and we started pecking away at that toll we needed for the end of the day. He got that started yesterday. It wasn't a big dramatic pin or something, but it was a win bigger than their state champions and state fifth placers had gotten before him. State champ, David Kersman. Really thrilled for anybody that can be an individual state champ. That is something else of an accomplishment. I hear some people in little stories and stuff, they say, I like the sport of wrestling because what I do for myself, and I don't have to depend on myself. I don't think you'll ever hear David say that. Now, in one way, that's right. When the match going on, he's all dependent on himself, but he knows he depended on all these teammates to help get him to where he was at. And we sure depended on David's contribution, but such a thrill for that individual accomplishment that a state champ can feel. And I know there's two things. Some of you will feel better about the accomplishment you do as a team and the togetherness and that bond, and that's very important. But what you can do and what you can accomplish by yourself when you're out there is super important. And David, I hope you have pride of that all the rest of your life. You never have to be ashamed of that. Congratulations. Jeremy Cooks, big match against Canby. Wrestled a very good match yesterday. Didn't get a win, but again, battled right to the wire against a kid who had been in the state a year ago, and they found out that there isn't any soft spots in the Paynesville lineup, and even where they're favored to win, they're going to have a hard time. They're really going to have to work for what they get. Jeremy, you made some great contribution this year. Thanks a lot. Chris Welly. Chris is so good and delivered so much all the time that we started thinking he was perfect, and he's not. But you were so good, and you delivered 6 or a TF just about every time out. that it almost, we never took it for granted, but it almost became an automatic thing. And at the end, he didn't get 6 in his last match. And he didn't win the state title, which we think he could have done. And he maybe would do it another week or another time, but it just didn't work out here. That's how good it is. That's how good he is. And sometimes you got to be just everything on at the right point in time. And he didn't get the 6. Now, let's go and try and figure out how many other times for the team he didn't get 6. Not very many. And I'm not trying to do this to cut it down, because he still won. But the night before against Canby, got a pin when the guy was doing everything he could to avoid getting pinned, if you remember watching the match. The next night again, morning, I guess it was, against St. James, same thing. So this was the guy we counted on as much as anybody in the lineup, and more than most anybody in the lineup, for just being an automatic win, an automatic pin, and you really got the job. What a great year you had, Chris. If anybody deserved to be state champ, I think that phrase would fit for Chris. There was a fellow who was a state champ from Minnewaska, and I'm not taking any away from him. He won 11-1, I think, in the finals yesterday. And Chris TF'd him in the second period, but it wasn't right in the state tournament. But he beat him by a technical fall in the second period. First time we wrestled Minnewaska. The second time, who did you beat from Minnewaska the second time? Forfeit. They didn't even use a wrestler against her. So I think that Chris has proven his accomplishments, but the state title did avoid him. But his life is going to be pretty great. I know the satisfaction of having a state title will be something he'll miss. And he was good enough to accomplish it, but it didn't happen. And that's a part of life. That's why I said earlier, you don't look at revenge and you don't hold back on things. You've accomplished great, great things. Josh Scheifels. Josh is not one of the biggest stars in our team. He's a sophomore up in an area where a lot of them are juniors and seniors. But Josh is at a swing weight with Joe Hiltner. And at the state tournament, Josh went against 3 state tournament individuals, and we moved Joe to 45, and we felt we had a better chance. And if you think that, man, his overall record isn't so outstanding, let's just take a look at only his state tournament thing now. We won't go back any further than 3 matches just to keep it moving. And he wrestled Otto from Canby, 4-2. He wrestled earlier in the year with 6-5. Okay, 1 and 2-pointer to Otto, who was a state individual. He wrestled Damon Anderson, who was St. James outstanding wrestler right in there, and that was a decision. He wrestled yesterday against was 3rd in state from Frazee, 4th in state from Frazee, and that was a 2-point decision. And Steve mentioned about Adam Christian sending a little message. I think Jeremy Fuchs sent a little message too, and I think Schreifels did, because their wrestler, we watched him for many days, or many matches down there in the 3 days, and he got a lot of pins, and he got an awful lot of mileage out of putting the legs on and turning people and everything. And when Josh slipped an arm out, put him to his back, and it was 5-5 at the end of that period, and their coaching staff, let him go, and wanted him to go on the feet right into Josh's strength. That was great. That was supposed to be a joke. Those of you who don't know, the fact it threw them off of what they could do, and they got a little worried. So that guy's strength was down on him, and the coaches didn't want him down there anymore for fear of getting caught and getting pinned. And let's go to your feet. And that was not that guy's strength. And Josh was able to walk off the mat, and there was another Frazee state placer that came off with only 3 points for his team. And that's what helped us with all of those kind of situations. Thanks, Josh. You did it all year long. Maybe we have a tendency to forget about Canby, but I've been mentioning Canby wins almost all the way along here. They were key wins for a lot of them. And the next one is Joe Hiltner. He had another one against Canby. Joe came an eyelash from placing in state. Against St. James, he had to beat a state placer. Against the other teams, he had to beat, well, he had to beat a state individual yesterday. One of the ones we figured was a toss-up, and he was able to pull that off. So Josh went up and weighed all the time, right? Joe went up and weighed all the time. Joe and Josh would alternate to try and use him where we felt it was the best situation for our team, and they both got the job done. Thanks a lot, Joe. Great season. Chris Soggy. You were at a loss for words up here, and I thought public speaking wasn't your strong suit, but boy, in the back of the bus and the locker room and stuff, you got all kinds of things to say. That's all right, that's all right. Okay, Chris, outstanding job of making our team come together as a whole unit by going to 52. It was not easy. It was a real tough cut. The dedication, the willpower, and determination that he showed is outstanding. And I think everybody here can remember and see what people can do for each other. Nobody forces somebody to do that. But once that commitment's there, once that decision's there, everybody else can realize if we're in an army, if we're in a family situation, a team situation, we'll all count on each other. And the dedication that you proved that you can do for yourself and what you gave to everybody else out here is something I don't think any one of these guys will forget. And when they're in that same situation, and their families and their nieces and nephews or somebody else depends on them to give some stability or do something over and above the call of duty, I hope they can remember what Chris did for us. Now, specifically, what did Chris do as far as our team down at state? One other thing he told me, make sure I tell you that he's lost 6 matches this year. 3 were state champions. Isn't that what you told me last night in the bus? Yeah. He lost 3 times to state champions. Anyway, for the team, we were going against Canby, and right about 3 seconds left, it looked like he was in big trouble, but he bailed out of there somehow or another, if I remember right, against Merritt. Real crucial win where he was in deep and he had in big trouble. And he used one of his big moves to come out of that. And didn't lose, he won by 1. And against St. James, I had a little bit of trouble with the takedowns for a while. For those of you that don't know exactly, he was behind 10-5 with about less than a half a minute left, and came up with the jungle roll, and there it was, pin with 10 seconds left, 9-point swing. Outstanding turnaround there. What a lift. And he gave us that kind of lift because of the way he wrestles and the part of the lineup that he wrestles in, and the dramatic type of comebacks that he's done over the last 2 years have just been, he's our inspirational leader out there because he wrestles rough and tough and aggressive and takes all kinds of chances. And he's never out there wrestling where I'm going to avoid losing. I'm going to try to win. Don't be afraid to lose. And that's what he does. He's not afraid to lose. He'll take a chance and usually comes up with the win. Not always, but a lot of time. And then last night, well, didn't do nothing. He lost. You can go sit down now, Chris. I don't want you to do that yet. Last night he was overmatched. And you tell me what opponent of the 169 opponents that Matt Nagel has wrestled that he hasn't been overmatched. That wrestler has not lost a match in the state of Minnesota in 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. Now I'm not talking junior high, I'm talking high school. He lost 1 match to a wrestler from Valley City 2 years ago. That was Valley City, North Dakota. That's the only match he's ever lost. And most all of those are pins and TFs. And last night, Chris was able to keep him from getting that. And that isn't really easy for Chris with the style of wrestling he's used to. Josh Schreifels has learned and has developed some defensive skills. Chris hasn't really developed too many defensive skills, but he needed it last night, and he did. That was the only bonus point Frazee got. Frazee won 7 matches. They had to have 21 points, and they only got 22 out of them. And Chris was the one that gave up points, so we should make him run extra laps today. We won't. I'm going to introduce two guys together. This comment almost applies identical to both of them. Scott Brown, John Fleischock. At the state, these wrestlers ran into some good wrestlers from other teams, and I didn't know this until I was making some notes after, well, just before when I was at home, and I realized that Scott Brown and Sean Fleischock had an important part in their lineup, 160, 171, never won a match in the state. I didn't know that until I took out the book and looked at it. We were down there, we're wrestling the whole time. I don't remember what each guy did individually, but I never thought they're having a bad tournament. Now I know Sean lost a tough one in overtime to St. James. I remember that one, but I couldn't remember what they had done until I looked it up in the book, and I just thought that's kind of proves the point I've been saying all along. How many bonus points did you give up in 6 losses? None. So their opponents, they ran into good people. They ran into state qualifiers, state placers from Canby. They both had state placers, state qualifiers, and it was more times than one. But there again, they kept other teams from getting the advantage that other teams needed to get. And you know that these boys have put up a pile of pins themselves when they're matched up against different opponents. They just weren't able to be in a situation where they came up with wins. But when it was a loss, it wasn't a loss that was crucial. Thanks a lot. Sure didn't mean any disrespect to Josh Bork when I said that. I had a tap him on the shoulder. All I wanted to do as we were talking was make eye contact. I wanted everybody else to look everybody else in the face in the room. And there's a bond, there's a something that they get from each other, that we're all in there in this thing together, and what you got to do. And as he was sitting there meditating and looking down, he looked up. There just needed to be some understanding there along the way. Well, Josh Bork. I haven't seen all the papers, and I know Matt Brockler is going to get a lot of attention because of the pins, and he should. He deserves it. Don't think my comments to Josh should take anything away from Matt Brockler. And I'm not going to say which win was more important or less important, but without, and I told this as sports, without his win at 189, you folks wouldn't even go here talking to me. You wouldn't have been asking about Brockler because his win would have been irrelevant. And that was a big one. I don't know how many seconds there were left. Maybe there was, it's like the war stories. There'll be 3, there'll be 10, there'll be 12, I don't know. But it was really late in the match when he got his takedown to win it against Frazee. And that kept us in a position to win. The night before, morning before, with St. James, if he would have got a pin or a major, or I think you got a major, wasn't it? If he would have gotten a pin or a TF, it would have sealed it, I think. Maybe it had to be a pin. He didn't quite get that, so it forced Brockler in a must-win situation. But he kept us and almost put it away. The one against Canby, he did put away. He totally took the pressure off Matt as far as whatever Matt did, and same thing at Pierce. So you were a great stopper up on top, Josh. Congratulations. I've used this comment within the room, and maybe some of you parents have heard this and fans have heard this sometimes. Compare it to the baseball World Series teams of the Twins. And Kirby Puckett was on there. Kirby Puckett was a big star. And he went up and made the big catch that needed. He hit the home run that was needed. And Jack Morris won the game pitching-wise and things like that. And those are people, remember, those are the stars of any good team. They're the stars of the unit, the ones that get the most of the praise. And every team has them. And everybody would like to be the Kirby Puckett. I don't care if it's from Little League, if it's to the major leagues. I don't care if it's baseball to whatever sport, whatever activity. It'd be always fun if you were the Kirby Puckett of your team. Little kids dream about being that, but everybody can't be that. We have our Kirby Pucketts. Chris Welly, Chris Soggy, David Curzons would fit that role a little bit more than the other people people on our team. I'm not trying to praise them anymore, but you folks will take that too. Those are the leaders that we came to depend on the most. They were our heroes most of the time. Now, the Major League Baseball team's got to have the right fielder and the left fielder and the third baseman, and those guys are regulars. They're in there all the time, day after day after day. Okay, that's what we need. And then there's a few people that are alternates. Maybe they're going to play against the left-handed pitcher. Maybe they're going to play against the right-handed pitcher. Maybe they're going to pinch hit against this one particular person. And we have those in our alternates. That's the role that Max was filling and a few others. Well, Matt Brockler wasn't filling the star role of the Kirby bucket all year, but he sure was one of the ones we depended on all the time. And we wanted him in there all the time. It wasn't like we ever wanted anybody else there. When it was, when he came and told me one day, he said, I think you should go and talk to Flint, because the doctor just told me it might be 6 weeks. And boy, that's the last thing I wanted. Not that I didn't like to have somebody else there, but that was not the option that we wanted. Matt had put in a lot of time the last few years in wrestling. We sure wanted him to be in there. And he was able to get himself back and came back against Pierce. And you all think, no, the last 4 matches, 4-3, 2-1 in the state, and he had 4 pins. And the match didn't depend on it every time. Canby and Pierce didn't, but against St. James and against Frazee it did. And it sure is not fun to be in that role if it goes against you. And Matt's had those opportunities. But it sure is fun to be in there and get the praise when it works out. And we're glad it worked out for you, Matt, because it worked out for all of us that way. Congratulations, Matt. Sectional team, and then we replaced him with Josh Kurzman on our state team, just due to the situation that if we get to Frazee, we need to have our options open with who we knew they would have it. If we didn't hit Frazee, we didn't figure we would be using those situations. So, Ryan Cotton, congratulations. Next alternate, Brad Schultz, was a regular much of the year, and maybe had the disappointments of not being a regular in the lineup all the way at the end, but was a very important part of this whole state championship team, and he wears a medal like everybody else. Thanks for your big contribution, Brad. Max Walker, cut weight as hard as anybody, and it's tough to cut weight. No question about it. Very, very tough. And then if you get the opportunity to wrestle, it makes it worthwhile. If you don't get the opportunity to wrestle, it really questions whether it's worthwhile. And Max didn't really want it. He came to me more than once, and I think as Max gets food back in his stomach, as he grows, he might be bitter forever to me for he might call making him make weight. I didn't make him make weight, but I knew he made the commitment that he wanted to be there, and I tried to help him get through that commitment, and that's a tough commitment. And anybody knows when you make a commitment, I'm going to do this. For us, in our lives, most of the time it's lose some weight, make a New Year's resolution, and then it's middle of January. Do I really have to? I can do this. Well, the wrestler doesn't have that choice. He makes a commitment, and he's got to lay it on the line and stay with it, and it's not easy. And he ran off a lot of pounds, and he had sore feet, he had a lot of things. And he didn't really beg, because he knew that I had to be firm. And I hope he understands when he gets in different situations, I had to be firm. And he said, well, what's the use? And the problem, I said, Max, that might be true. You might not be in there. I can't promise you will. But you're one of our 3 guys that maybe will be there. And what if, well, he got hurt? And all that can be said, that's okay, you don't need to. Then how much would we regret it? And Max understood. He didn't want to, but he understood. And he kept doing it. And he didn't get any reward of being able to be in there. And yet, when we went to state, depending on what the other team's lineup is, he might have wrestled all 3 times. That's something I didn't know, something he didn't know, but Steve and I talked about it, that it's very possible that he might wrestle 3 times. He might wrestle once or twice, he might not wrestle at all. He made all that weight, and he never got an opportunity to participate, but I hope you know you contributed. Josh Kurtzman, it wouldn't have been fun to be out there against Nagel, but I know you would have done the best you could. And we had some wrestle-offs in practice, and we took all of our wrestlers from 130 to 171. We didn't use Josh Borton and Brockman. We felt they were too big. We didn't go down to Kurtzman. He felt it was too small. And he was a relative, you know. He'd favor his brother or something, or they didn't do it. I don't know. And we wrestled them off, and it wasn't fun for them. And after I had talked to all the regulars, said, who's the toughest one? If they had to go out with a chance of saving a bonus point, who would you want in there? If the whole state tournament depended on it. And every one of those guys said, Josh Kurtzman. So Josh got the honor or the responsibility. It was a little bit of both. He got the honor of being on the state tournament team and the responsibility of doing the best you can if you needed to go out there. And congratulations, Josh. I haven't talked to Cindy at all about this t-shirt, but I got two final announcements. I know people would be asking, and in the past, we have gotten t-shirts, and we've gotten jackets, and our jackets are kind of outdated. I don't think we've updated those jackets since for quite a while. And we will maybe take a look, and we were talking about us last night, about making a new design or something, and getting something on it, and if you say state champs on your jacket, boy, you're really putting, your jacket is really going to age in a hurry, or something. But right now, sure, it sounds great, but anyway, we'll do that later. We'll get that stuff done with some t-shirts and jackets, and your opportunity to do that, we'll do that, and announce it at school and at our banquet and things like that. Now, final comment. Wrestlers, last night you were up as high as you could be, and it's an honor being here today. When you step back in our community and in your classrooms, you don't have to be ashamed of what you accomplished, and you can be proud of it, but don't be a snob about it. You are no better, and it goes for me, Steve, and everybody else. We are no better than anybody else, and be humble about it, be thankful for what we've achieved together, but let's make sure we fit right in with everybody else, and we don't have a problem with that way. Make sure when it comes to your daily living, you're the same person you were before you were a state champion as you are after you're a state champion. Thanks a lot. deserves part of the credit when we mention coaching staff, and that goes to volunteer coaches as well as the people who are employed in the school. Thanks, everybody. Get out the lobby.
Get your hands out of your pocket.
Shauna, upside down.
Too much.
Act like you like each other.
There you go. Are you ready, boys?
Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. I gotta move over a little bit here.
Come on.
All right, just hang on. There's more cameras coming.
Hey, Pato.
You guys are allowed to smile now.
Wait. Excuse me. Oh, there each. Here are the seniors.
Oh, we
Got
gotta
a
get
bunch of
closer.
studs. Are we happy we're leaving this school? No, they want to
Be the champion. Join us tonight as Minnesota's finest athletes take one final shot at a state championship. It's the greatest day in Minnesota high school wrestling tonight on Minnesota Wrestling Weekly. Minnesota Wrestling Weekly is brought to you by Video Update. Hello and welcome to our special state tournament edition of Minnesota Wrestling Weekly. I'm Mike Max. The high school state tournament was at the Target Center this weekend, and we covered it from start to finish. Pain, passion, guts, and glory. We've got it all today. We'll talk all about the state tournament very Big Ten championships next week. But now we turn to the crown jewel of Minnesota wrestling, the Minnesota State High School League State Tournament. A 3-day extravaganza took place at the Target Center this weekend. Willie Short and I will have it all when Minnesota Wrestling Weekly returns. Welcome back to Minnesota Wrestling Weekly. It was the crowning jewel, the State High School Wrestling Tournament. Joining us, our State High School guru, coach at Simley High School, Willie Short. Target Center proved a pretty good venue this year. They got some things right, and yes, they set a record for attendance, or the highest attendance since 1986.
Well, they got enough ticket takers there to get everybody through the lines this year, which is a nice job. And they did a much better job. Teams came out, did a great job. We had some upsets, and we had some guys do what they're supposed to do. It was a great tournament. Fabulous.
The action was heated all weekend as teams and individuals gave their all for the ultimate prize. It takes place on Saturday when the champions are crowned. But in truth, the entire weekend is a spectacle of intensity and emotion. Minnesota Wrestling Weekly's Pete Byrne was at the Target Center all weekend, and he found out there's more to this great event than meets the eye.
Grit, determination, agony, excitement. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and if that's the case, a lot can be said here for the state high school wrestling tournament. But you don't have to take my word for it.
Cast it, work up, don't stay on your knees. It's all time, it's all time. One, two, go. Again, let's go. Hip down, hip down. That's right. You're doing right. Take his hips down.
Way to go. Way to go, Darryl.
You are right, Pete. That gives us a great look at the emotion and energy that goes into the state tournament. Don't go away. We're just getting started. Check out the Class A and 3A individual championships. Congratulations to all of the above. Welcome back to Minnesota Wrestling Weekly. We saw the 2A individual finals. Let's move on to the 1A individual finals. And Willie, we start with Eric Sanders at 103 pounds from Wabasha Kellogg.
We possibly have the makings of another 5-time state champion. He's already got his second one as a 9th grader. He's got 3 more years to do it. Could he get 5? Well, he's on his way right here. You see him get the takedown in the finals here against Greg Brendan-Mule from Medford, and there it is, his second state title as a 9th grader, and another father-son combination out of Wabasha.
Which makes it very possible he'll win that many. David Kurzman from Paynesville at 125 wins it.
Boy, he had a solid tournament, not just in the individual, but in the team. We'll talk about Paynesville later on in the team portion, but he's part of the reason he's a state champion. He's part of the reason they're the Class A state champions.
Blaine Kuhlman, we mentioned Medford before. He is from Medford. He won it at 130.
Well, he wrestled a solid finals match against a very tough wrestler in Dan Petzinger. Kuhlman, you see here, he gets the win in the fall. He is very solid, very well put together, and he's a great state champion, Blaine Kuhlman.
Matt Nagel's got everybody's attention. 4th state title.
Well, he got a standing ovation when he got on the awards, and it was a deserved standing ovation. Best wrestler in Class A, Matt Nagel.
Joe Moon at 171, although let's stay with Nagel for a second there. He's got a chance to win his 5th next year. Joe Moon.
Joe Moon, boy, I didn't get a lot to see of Joe Moon last year, and I got to watch most of his matches this year, and I tell you, this is a very, very good wrestler. Very, not a lot of people talk to him. He's out in Class A, and not a lot of people get to see him. He's tough, and he wins his 2nd straight title, 8-2. He was dominant.
Johnny Frank from Pat Fisher's hometown of Wabasso.
He wrestled a great, great match here against Ryan Wynant from Wabasha Kellogg in the finals. He gets a nice takedown here in the 3rd period.
You think this win means something to him, Willie?
Well, you know, the work pays off. You see the work paying off here. You know he's done the work. He's been in great condition. He's been lifting weights. And it all pays off right there at the state championship.
Yeah, hats off to you. Scott Revere from Bold won the heavyweight division.
Boy, it started out not too good for Scott in the finals against Barbie from Dilworth, but he put it all together in the 2nd, 3rd period, and he's a state champion.
Take a look at the winners here. Nagel is going to maybe make history next year, barring an injury, huh?
I just don't see too many guys who can beat him in this class, and I think he will get his 5th state title, and he'll be the first one ever in the history of Minnesota wrestling. It'll be a historic moment next year if he can do it.
No doubt about it. And there you see the Class A individual winners. Willie, the great thing about the individual tourney is it gives kids a chance to win despite the caliber of their team. On Saturday, only 2 teams remained in the Class A team bracket, but 20 schools were still being represented in the individual finals. One of the most exciting things about the tournament is just that. Frazee, Darren Oswald. Well, and we finish with a team competition in 1A. Paynesville against the favorite Frazee, Darren Oswald.
Darren Oswald starting Frazee off with a nice win, 10-3, and it looked like Frazee was on a roll and they were going to put their hands on another state title, but these Paynesville kids came to wrestle, and they came to wrestle all weekend.
At 112, John Schermerhorn from Frazee adds another win. Then we move on to 119. Here comes Paynesville.
This Soggy, boy, he wrestled a nice team tournament as well for Paynesville, came up with big men's over and over again. You see him here against Jeremy Mayfield. He gets a nice win, 6-4. They don't get this one. This might have cost them the duel, but they did a nice job. They get a nice victory here, and he puts them in position to win the duel.
David Kurzman wins.
He's a state champion, and he did his job here against Gabe Dretch, who's a very solid wrestler from Frazee. He wins 8-6.
Matt Nagel.
And Matt Nagel was doing his job for Frazee, getting that big win at 19-6. But Chris Sogi did one thing. He didn't give up the tech fall, and that made
Made it difficult then. Nick Woodard then did get the tech fall.
Well, the Paynesville kids wrestled as a team. Not giving up a tech fall, not giving up team points in certain positions. Fleshaker not giving up a 4-point decision when losing 6-2, keeps him in it.
Josh Bork.
Josh Bork gets a takedown here. He wins the match that's going to seal the fate for Frazee. Gets Paynesville to 21-18, and then you see the 9th grade heavyweight from Frazee isn't going to hold up against Brockler from Paynesville.
No, Brockler gets the win with a pin.
And you see the excitement here.
And the 1A title is complete, though. Let's hear from the champions.
Feels great. I've been an underdog forever. I finally have a 500 record, and I helped my team to the state championship.
I've never had a loss for words, but it's kind of tough right now. We knew if we stayed calm, if we win, we had to win 2, and we were able to.
The emotion of a state tournament. Paynesville did the impossible Saturday night and upset top-ranked Frazee for the Class A team championship. You just heard from Coach Vagley. Matt Brockler, you saw, he sealed the deal, giving the 5th-ranked Bulldogs a 24-21 victory and a 4th title for head coach Verge Vagley. The phenomenal finish to the wrestling season gives Paynesville a 31-3 overall dual meet record to go with 5 individual titles. Junior David Kurzman added to the drama with an individual title of his own. Congratulations to the Paynesville Bulldogs, the Minnesota High School Class A 2000 state champions. And I think that I wish we could have showed every individual champion and all that, but a capsule look, it was quite a weekend.
Well, when you're down there and you're watching the action and you're watching the teams and the performance of some of these kids, you see the real emotion. And a lot of these kids letting their hearts hang out on their sleeves and a lot of stuff happening. And it was a fabulous tournament, a lot of great action. And Paynesville did a great job. They made me look back. You know, I picked Frazee a week ago. So
I picked St. James.
I congratulate them. They did a great job. And they wrestled fabulous as a team and for each other.
Willie, thanks so much all year, not just today, but all year for your outstanding work. We'll see you back here next year, partner. Good luck with the Simile program as well, but we appreciate all the work and the great job you did on this show. Tune in next week now. As I mentioned earlier, we have complete coverage of the Big Ten championships, and we'll look ahead to the national dual meet. The Minnesota Gophers prepare for it, and we'll talk about Augsburg. But as we say goodbye, let's take a final look at the weekend in the state high school wrestling tournament. So long, everybody.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this past and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. Something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.